Hi, I'm Ron Polk, and this tool tip is an elegant repair for your air hoses. If you've been a woodworker for more than about 5 minutes and you use air, you've had an air hose fail on you. You've either torn it somewhere along its length and it needs to be cut and spliced together, or the ends more likely have failed and are leaking and need to be replaced. Most of the time when you buy a hose, it has a nice end on it and it's factory installed and it can't be replaced. You have to cut it off. So then you go to the store and you purchase a new end that you need, and a lot of times you'll find these that are barbed and they are theoretically friction fit. You just push them on and the barbs hold them in place. I've never had that work for me. They'll hold for a little while, but they leak pretty quickly. So then what I end up doing is putting a hose clamp on. So I'd buy a handful of these and keep them in my truck, and so that I could repair a hose whenever I needed to. The problem with these is, one, you have to have them, you have to go buy them. The other thing is, after you clamp them all down, there's a little tongue sticking out, so you've either got to cut that off, which is not that easy to do. The other thing is you have sharp edges. If you're pulling your hoses around a house, it can scuff things up, and it's just something else to cause a problem. They work really well as far as holding the ends on, but I didn't like them. I also tried just putting the ends on and then taping them with electrician's tape for a little extra help. I tried heat shrink, and again, nothing worked that well. And then I saw this tool that was designed for car enthusiasts to build custom hose clamps for their automobiles, fancy ones. They could do all kind of interesting wraps. It was also advertised to just have in your RV in case you have a hose blowout and you need to get yourself fixed up to stay on the road. It's called a Clamp Tight, and I'll put a link to this in the video description so that you can find it. I've had this one for a number of years, so I will, hopefully they're still in business, but I'll put a link to it so you'll know what it is. And essentially, it's a little simple tool. They're inexpensive, and then you carry a stock of stainless steel wire. And when I purchased this, I purchased probably 500 feet of stainless wire, and I'm still working on it, and it's repaired a lot of hoses. Of course, clean up the end of your hose, cut it off nice and square, and then get your new end and just pressure fit it on. And then reel off, according to the instructions. It always seems like a little bit of a waste, but they say 15 times the diameter plus 12 inches. We're looking at about a 1/2 inch hose there, so we're looking at about 7.5, 8 inches, and then another foot. Then you just simply put the two ends together, fold it right in half, and then either tape the ends together, or you can use a little wire nut, and that's just temporary, just to hold it together for feeding. And now I use a basic double wrap. The instructions show all kind of fancy wraps for, again, for custom automobiles where they want to do some really attractive stuff. And then all you have to do is just put the loop up right next to the hose, right where you want it to go, and then feed the other end through. If you want it to look nice, you want to keep the ends nice and parallel to each other. Feed it through the loop once, and then feed it through one more time, and then just sort of take a couple of minutes and line them up. I'm sure that guys that do this all the time can be really quick at it. Obviously, I don't have to do it as frequently that I've become very proficient at it, but every one works every time. So you can see all I've done is just loop it through twice, and each time I came through, I put the next wrap inside of the previous wrap, so that's twice around. Then you can take off the wire tie or the tape, and then place the tip of the tool right on put that detent or that little split on the end of the tool right on the loop, and then I'm just going to crank the tool down, and this is tightening that loop, that double loop, and it's just continuing to pull the slack out of it. And then when I get down, when it's nice and tight, all I have to do now is flip the tool over. It takes a little force, and that last little bend and clamps the wire. So once that's done, all I need to do is release the tool, and then you can see I've got a perfect clamp, and all I have to do is snip the ends off. They're just bent over. That gives you all the hold you need. So if I take a little pair of wire nippers, I'll leave about 1/4 of an inch, and then I'll take a pair of pliers and just bend those down. So you can see you've got this very slim clamp that I've custom made, and this won't rub on anything, and I could also tape this if I wanted to make sure that it didn't scratch anything, but it's all smooth surfaces now. Just rounded over wire because the tips are folded back under. So it turns out perfect, and I've never had one of these clamps fail. It's always the end that fails that I have to change, not the clamp. And the beauty of it is I have the tool, the wire nut, the instructions tucked away in a butainer, stored in my truck. I can make any size clamp I need at any time. So hopefully this tool tip will help. Thanks for taking the time to watch. Have a great day.